Gentlemen, how are you tonight? This question will be first directed to Mr. Ashew. And the question is, given the humanitarian disaster that is happening in Syria, under what circumstances would you support the United States taking in refugees from that country? And what about orphaned children?
This is a humanitarian crisis, and one that we've seen in history before. My grandparents came to this country 100 years ago, the product of a similar refugee crisis in the similar region, and at that time they were welcomed by the United States. They were welcomed to Manchester. I believe that spirit of American welcoming needs to continue, but there has to be a security test. We already have an immigration problem outside of the refugee issue, and we simply can't overwhelm our already broken system with more refugees without properly vetting them. The best policy is one which lives up to the philosophy I said earlier, which is discrediting the ideology by working to ensure that these refugees don't need to go abroad in order to be safe. We need a foreign policy that will guarantee their safety as much as we can where they are.
Congressman, what's your take on this question?
Well, late last year, Director Comey of the FBI said that the FBI was not capable of properly vetting Syrian refugees and many refugees from that particular region. So we got to work in the House of Representatives almost immediately, crafted legislation that halted refugee resettlement until we could verify who the refugees were, whether they had any ties to any terrorist activity. That did pass the House, and I supported it. Look, also when I was mayor, we had a refugee resettlement problem in the city of Manchester. We had resettled more than in Manchester alone. We resettled more people than in 26 other states. And I worked with the resettlement agencies to put a halt on that because it was taxing the people, the good people of the city. Look, I think we have an obligation to help those who are in need. But we certainly have done our fair share, and we cannot, under any circumstance, allow somebody to come to the United States if we cannot verify what activities they may or may not have to a terrorist organization.
Gentlemen, let's keep going on this for a minute for Congressman Ginta and then for Mr. Ashew. Both of you agree that the border should be secured, but what about the estimated 11 million illegal immigrants who are in this country? What should the federal government do right now to deal with them? Congressman.
Well, John, thank you for the question. Look, I visited the southern border back in April in my capacity as chairman of the Congressional Task Force to combat heroin and opioid use. So this, to me, is a multi-pronged issue. It's not just about illegal immigration. It's also about stopping heroin coming across the border, because all the heroin that is in New Hampshire is coming from those 3 drug cartels in Mexico. So number one, you do have to secure the border. I saw the fence. It's 18 feet high. In the areas where you have an 18-foot high fence with video surveillance and border agents, it's secure. Down the road is a fence with barbed wire and stakes that you can buy at Home Depot. That needs to be secured. You can't do anything about illegal immigrants that are here until that happens. Once that happens, you then start identifying people who are breaking additional laws, overstaying their work visas, and send them back to their country of origin.
And Mr. Ashew, your take?
Well, we absolutely need to secure the border. It hasn't been done. And what we can't do is send any signals that we'll accept any sort of amnesty for the people who are here, because that will only breed more tension on the border. Now, this has been an issue for quite a period of time. My opponent was elected in 2010, and immigration was a huge issue then. We still have had no meaningful action on this issue. Here we are, 6 years later, talking about it again, no meaningful action. In April, he decided to take a taxpayer-funded trip to the border, as though we didn't know what the problem was already. We do know what the problem is. We need to secure the border, properly train the border officials, and give them the equipment that they need to do a very, very tough job.